Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson777A here. Well, here we go. It's another, God, it's been a long time since I've been on here. I apologize. It's 9/11. Chance to kind of sit back and think about all the people that lost their lives in this horrible, starting us on a 20-year war. It's kind of amazing. My lips are all chapped. DJ Ritz is in the house. Hey, Rob B. My lips look all red. I think they're chapped like crazy. And I've been living on the computer for the last several weeks. Greg Steinberg, how's it going? Man, we can't seem to get a break with the precious metals. They kind of bumped up and now they're crashing back down again. Yeah, my lips are burning like crazy. Last couple nights I've been doing it. They look red, don't they? Hey, Josh. There hadn't been much to talk about. I don't know. I don't follow Bitcoin. Did it go up? Kind of acts like the miners. We had some dividends on some of our miners recently. SBSW had a good dividend. What was it, 80 cents or something? Somebody sent me an email. Yes, they are consolidating. Did anybody get a chance to take a look at my chart that I put at the beginning of this? It still kind of amazes me the fact that the difference between gold and silver since we went off the international gold standard. Gold was up like nearly 50 times and silver's only up like 11 times. So I kind of tell everybody to build a pyramid. If you're going to get into mining stocks, start with the royalties. And I've done a number of videos that talk about the foundation for that. You know, get your physicals first, but then start with the royalties, because the royalties, they seem to make money no matter what. And the miners, then you do like your large miners, your medium size, and then your small miners, and then micro miners, a little bit, smaller and smaller point as you're going up the pyramid. But the royalties should be kind of like your foundation, with your physicals. In fact, you probably would just be safe just doing royalties only. They do fantastic. I haven't looked at some of my things for year to date. Crap, I left my phone in the other room. Cooked some rabbit for dinner. Yeah, it just seems like we don't have any good news. Did you see the mess that happened in Afghanistan? What a joke. I can't believe that we screwed that up so bad. Left like $80 billion of equipment over there, not counting, Americans too. They're still stuck over there. It's incredible. It's depressing that our economy could be this bad. I mean, our country, the management of our country could be this bad. We got 2 thumbs up. I thought at first I saw a thumbs down, but I guess there's not. We got 10 people here. That's funny. They got that blocked. I have to hit show for it. Yeah. So why do you think that is? Since 1970, why do you think silver's only up like 11 times and gold's up like 50 times? Do you think silver's actually going to get caught up? It's because of charts like that I show you that I tend to lean heavily on the gold, because it's just historically has done that. Does that mean that silver is as valuable as gold and it's going to catch up? No, I don't think so. There's no case for that. But I just like to look at the longer term trends because I look at precious metals as your actual savings account. A lot of people want to use the silver as a trade, and that's kind of the way I've talked about it. You know, if we do get another bump up to 50 bucks or something, then you can switch it over to gold. But Christian Cruz. And it looks like I'm white. I got to get out in the sun some more. Starting to cool off. I think it was 57 this morning. I had the windows open for a little bit. It was really dang nice out there. Oh, I don't know that Trump is back in office. I could hear I could hear somebody text me, but I put the phone clear in the other room. Have you guys been following the ivermectin, which is a treatment that's been used for decades, kind of like that other drug that Trump was recommending? I read some studies though with the ivermectin that it does some strange things to your sperm, but you know you're typically not going to be on that forever, anyways. It's just whenever you like get the initial symptoms, you think you might have COVID, you take that dose, and you kind of get on it, and you have to stay on it for a while, and then you don't just drop it immediately. You have to kind of bring yourself off it because they noticed that some people would, have a rebound of COVID. So, anyways, it was kind of interesting. There's a friend of mine's been sending me some information about where you can get this. Even though some people say you can't buy it anymore, you actually can. And I've got some information about it, but I'm afraid that I'll be taken down if I do that. So I may have to do this some other way by emails or something to some of my supporters. It's kind of an interesting thing. There's actually some online pharmacies and stuff that you can get this stuff. My tenants, I got tenants. Remember the ones that were behind in rent a bunch? They've kind of pretty much caught up, and they owed, maybe 900 bucks still on some fees and things. But they were before like 9,300 or something behind, so they made some good progress. But I've been told that the whole household's down with COVID right now. So there's, husband and wife and 2 kids. Everybody's down with COVID. So at least I think it's COVID. Hold on a second. Let me get my phone and I'll go ahead and tell you the stuff about the ivermectin. My phone was making the noise because it said it was time to do the live stream. I was on here a little bit earlier though. All right, let me find this text now. All right. All right. There's a thing called, there's this group. They were on Sandy Rios Christian radio show. It's free telemed for COVID. They can get them the right meds, including ivermectin. It's called HTTPS, :// myfreedoctor.com/. So if you go to that, I'm being told that you can get ivermectin for your family or for yourself or for your mom, elderly parents, all that kind of stuff. Um, the other one is hydrochloroquine, and there's another thing called pushhealth.com. If you go to that and you sign up, you have to put you have to put your name, email, and then continue. Then you put an access code, and you have to put H Tillery, Tillery. So there's two different things you can do there, and then there's also a way that you can go to, like Tractor Supply, some of these places where they have animal feed and everything else, and you can get the stuff that they use for animals. But I've got some instructions for that as well, because you got to do conversions for liquid for the proper dosages and stuff. But it's better to go through these online pharmacies and stuff and try to get it, because you're going to be getting the right stuff and you can't necessarily make a mistake. But it's kind of interesting to be able to go get the animal meds, and you probably get a much larger amount so you can treat more people. But you better know what you're doing of conversion from, like solids to liquids and stuff. I kind of know how to do that, but that's not something I'm going to be posting out here. So I'd rather you do the online pharmacy stuff. So anyways, I just kind of told you something that a lot of people don't know about, and you can kind of help yourself, and then we'll see how it works. But I haven't ordered any of this stuff. I've been so freaking busy; it's ridiculous. So we'll see how that works. So what have you guys been up to? I don't know that. I know that there's some Trump supporters in the admin now that are doing some of the leaks and stuff about what's going on, but there's nothing that I would know that Trump's actually in charge of anything. By the way, I finally finished all my drops on my eyeballs, and so my cataract surgery was actually a very good success. The only problem is little bitty print. I had to get some cheaters, and it's only 1x, so it's not like I've got really bad eyes, but the small print, I need a little bit of magnification. I've got several magnifiers around the house too, but for like looking on the computer or driving and everything, it's fantastic. No glasses. But there's so much light coming through in my eyes now, I have to wear polarized glasses pretty much anytime I'm outside. Otherwise, it's just like unbearable compared to what I had before with the cataracts. So that's quite an amazing technology that they did that for me. Come on, let's get some more comments. I didn't do a lot of research before this because I was just sitting here just playing around looking at some of the gold and silver charts and stuff, and said, oh well, let's go and throw a chart up and see if I can get people together. But I didn't kind of go in and look at any of the news. Periodically I kind of will download and look, but it's kind of like we're in this in between malaise still, and there's a lot of stuff going on in this area where they're locking down the hospitals again, and a lot of the fundraisers for the area, they're shutting those all down again. And so we're starting to see some activities. It seems early though. It seems early that they're doing this, because the flu season normally is farther along, November, December or something. So I think it's kind of interesting this early that a lot of things are shutting down. What do you guys think? Are you thinking that we're going for number 2 for another year? Man, you all got real quiet. You were typing all kinds of stuff. Did they already shut me down just for passing that information out? Definitely not going to be, what do you want to call it, monetized here. All right, so Wall Street, AG. Let's talk about this, because I kind of mentioned this, but because I'm not doing like daily videos and everything, it's kind of long term in between. Remember, we went from one admin that was trying to put us back into real money, I guess we would say. We're back into the type of admin that is going back and trying to, push us back, before Trump, where they were doing all the manipulation and nobody was prosecuting. I mean, they don't want real money. They don't want any of the stuff to show the problems with our current currency. So I think we're back into corruption again, and they're going to protect the dollar, from looking bad by having gold and silver doing its thing. So there's a number of different ways they can do that, but that looks like what we're doing. Where before it looked like they were releasing gold and silver for their potential, but I think it's back into full suppression. But that's my thoughts. I'm not behind the curtain. I don't know how they're doing it. I can just look at the tea leaves and know who's in charge and know why it's doing what it's doing. But remember, Trump was trying to put people in the Treasury that wanted sound money, go back to gold-backed currency and stuff. That's not going to happen now. So we've got all the old people back in doing their manipulations and going down that path. Yeah, I wouldn't say Wall Street. Well, okay, yeah, maybe. I would say we've got these titans, like Amazon. They're like the oligarchs now, right? We got Amazon, we got Apple, we got Google. All these people are, this is like fascism, right? The corporations are running the country. Everybody's bought and paid for. I think that was a mistake years ago. I remember when they were trying to make it to where corporations couldn't, do all these contributions and stuff. And everybody said, well, corporations are people too. Well, you can see why you don't want to do that, because they actually are buying and paying for everything, just like China is, So we probably got to go clean this up and make it back where, they're working for the people, not the corporations. That's a lot of stuff going on that's just out of control. And everything kind of goes way too far, and then it's got to correct. So if I was still working for the former employer, would I have been forced to vaccinate? I keep in touch with some of my folks from work, and I have not heard that there's been a forced vaccination. The majority of the jobs like I was doing is all off site now. People are working from home. So I don't know if the factory workers and everything are forced to be vaccinated or not. But Biden's trying. I don't know if he completed or not, but he did some rule that says any companies over 100 people have to be vaccinated. But I heard something like teachers unions and post office are exempt, and yet we know it's like all federal things were supposed to be doing vaccinations, but they already gave major exemptions. So that tells you this is just trying to put their foot down on people's necks. It's not real. Yeah, prepping. I've been eating some of my jars of canning jars that I did back in 2018, and they still taste pretty good. But I'm kind of watching to see what my stomach does. That's getting a little bit on the old side. How many of you guys actually can after all those videos I showed how to do things? I think I got some bad margarine in my fridge, though. I got to toss. I got to quit buying these monster large containers. I think they go bad before I use them up. Where's the questions? This is your time, remember? Sometimes I have a whole bunch of topics. I didn't get a bunch of topics together for this. I got some chickens coming in, some chicks. I think it's this week. I haven't seen them yet. But my hens haven't started laying yet. I expected them to be laying. It should be any day now. They're supposed to start laying this month. So I'm kind of surprised. They're so cute when they're young. They move so much faster than the old ones that waddle around and everything. We had 20 people on here. All right, so how many of y'all have gotten the vaccination, or is this the group that will not get vaccinated? Did any of you? I think I put the article up about polio. Did you see the thing about the polio vaccine when it first came out? There were two different vaccines, and both of them had unbelievably terrible side effects. And that was on Zero Hedge. They went and pulled the history on the whole thing. So, and I'm just thinking, they were rushing it through, and same thing, a whole bunch of side effects, and people died, and senators' kids got polio and died, and so I just think it's like we're going down the same path here. No, I haven't. Whoa, what was that all about? Stop. I didn't hear anything. Were you sleeping or something? It's okay. Why'd you make that noise? I don't know. Dogs can hear stuff we can't hear. No, I've not gotten any. I've not gotten any jab. Dougie, he'll do this kind of late at night. I don't know if sometimes he's falling asleep and he hears something, but no, all the medals were basically bought in 2017, I think it was. If you remember, I've showed you that. I haven't. I've always said I don't buy on the way up. Yeah, take the jab. Yeah, there's definitely some things about this. It makes me wonder if it's related to they're trying to code our DNA, and then they're trying to um, like be able to reprogram us. And I just don't think I want to be part of that. I don't want to be, a Bill Gates DOS experiment. Remember disk operating system? You become all of a sudden now human, I don't know what you want to call it, 2.0 instead of 1.0. And that means that from then on, you can only use those gene therapies for resolving any other issue. So that's the only problem is you're going to end up potentially not being able to take advantage of any newest things that come out. But it just seems like our vaccines have gone out of control. When I was a kid, oh my God, I did some research on this. There was probably no more than 6 things that we took, through high school. And now it's like 60, 100, I don't know. It's a ridiculous number. And so that just tells you we're out of control. Man, we used to have chickenpox parties. The first kid that got chickenpox, all the women in the neighborhood would bring their kids over so they'd all just get it all over at once. Today, that'd be like, oh my God, that's child abuse. What are you doing? A lot of the places you can have an exemption for religious. In fact, I was watching a YouTube video where this pastor was saying, for our congregation, I'll sign a waiver for religious exemption, but I got to know you. You got to be somebody in my congregation. You got to be, active, like teaching Sunday school or some other dang thing. You can't be just a participant. And so he's put conditions on, who he would sign this waiver for. Yeah, I don't know about people getting hurt in MRI machines. I've seen the things about the magnetic stuff, and that looks bogus to me. Yeah, I saw something about who was it? there was something that said that they were going to allow employees to sue their uh, employers if they had a side effect, if they were forced to be uh, inoculated. So that's going to make employers kind of second guess whether they do this or not. Yeah, so I did see something about that, but I haven't done the research to validate that's really the case. It's just I see a lot of YouTubes come across my feed, and you never know because they don't reference anything. So I don't know if that's valid or not. I think I forgot to set up the wrong mic. I think I set up the wrong microphone again. So this is probably pretty crummy sound. I think this is coming off the camera instead of my really nice microphone I got right here. There's the new live stream that comes up. It's a different format, and I forget to go through all the settings for which microphone and everything. So I hate this other one because the sound just isn't nearly as good as my Turtle Beach. Turtle Beach is great. So we're at 26 minutes. I've got a couple of videos on my camera that I just got to slice together to put out. It's when my hens, I first moved them up, to the regular chicken coop. I'd given up my older hens to somebody and brought my new hens up, with my rooster. And it was so cute. They would come out, they'd be like looking around. It's like, what the heck's going on? And they'd go down along the fence line, especially when I was out there, they'd come around me. But my dog was out there, not in the area where the chickens are, but the chickens could see him. And all of a sudden they look over like, what is that? And they all go, run back into the chicken coop. It was the funniest thing. But now they're not really that scared of Dougie because they realize he's not going to bother them. But every once in a while he barks at them, especially if I give them some treats and he doesn't get any. He's like, hey, that's my stuff. They don't understand that when he barks yet, but they'll understand pretty soon. Yeah, the medical community is definitely part of the con job. You order religious exemption card from Hacking the Headlines. Oh, okay. So there's somebody that has one of those. I haven't heard Hacking the Headlines before. Okay, I'm glad it's coming across good. I'm just going to tell you, there's a noticeable difference when you use the Turtle Beach. So what do you think? Yeah, this one's definitely not going to get monetized. It wouldn't surprise me if they get the thing done. Nope, have not gotten the big D yet. There's been some activity that's been kind of interesting. This is crazy. It's been over a year. Ooh, it's hot. I decided to wear my lab coat because I didn't want to put on a regular shirt. So I was going to be the professor tonight. So the funny thing is, I've been trying to only eat when I get hungry versus like we make it a habit of meals. And curiously, I was doing something, I never drink sodas or anything. It's very rare. It's only like if I've been outside and I've sweat like crazy, I'll drink a soda to try to recharge a little bit, if I didn't have any Gatorade or something. But I've been putting some lemon in my water, some concentrated lemon juice at the bottom. And curiously, I think that's kicked me down another level where I'm down to 203. And last year, if you remember, I got all the way down to 193. So I'm trying to get back to 193, and then I'm going to try to hold it. But it's kind of an interesting thing as when you just watch what you're eating. And you got to remember, during the summer, I eat a lot of vegetables and everything, a lot of fruits. So it's this time of year, it's a lot less calories going in. And normally I'm a lot more physical. I haven't been physical though, but yet I'm still losing weight. Yeah, I do. I've got problems because a lot of my clothes are just way too big. So you squeeze a whole lemon in your smoothie every morning. Do you remember the smoothies I made with the strawberries? Holy crap, those things were good. Yeah, I pretty much, I never really do a lot of sugary stuff. And it's just because my body just doesn't process sugar very well. Yeah, no, I don't really eat that much fruit, but I do make it part of my diet. So, a lot of times, um, like in the morning, I'll have a banana. That's one of the things I have, and I'll have a glass of milk. In fact, I'm out of bananas and milk. I didn't forgot to go to the store today, so I got to do that tomorrow. No, you want to have complex carbs like fruit. Fruit's okay. Just think about what you're doing. I eat a lot of blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. I do keep some apples in there. Right now, there's uh, peaches are out, cherries. I've been eating a lot of cherries this year too. Ear in a 6 to 8 hour window. I don't know what is an ear. Oh, eat. Oh, so that's another thing I do. Probably about 8 or 9 o'clock, I eat a banana, drink a glass of milk, and then by 11:30 or something, I try to eat my lunch. And lunch is typically my big meal for the day. And then dinner could be like 8 o'clock. I could have a bowl of cereal with some blueberries and maybe some pecans. It's usually Honey Nut Cheerios. But a lot of times I just don't eat dinner because my activity hasn't been that high. I haven't been able to go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in a year because I had hurt myself. I'd hurt my back, and I've been really cautious, trying to be careful with that. But I've had a lot of pains that I need to go get evaluated for. But a lot of times you just got to take it easy, and it comes back into shape again. But I don't know. There's a lot of things can happen. I ever heard of the bursa, like bursitis and stuff? I've probably like once every 2 years I'll screw up my bursa and I got to go get a shot for that. But it's just an injury that I got when I was a kid, and it's easy to flare the thing up, and you can lock up your shoulder. You get like what they call frozen shoulder, and you can only lift your arm like this high instead of like a weatherman. And man, I tell you, it's painful as anything. So, these are things that you end up living with for the rest of your life, and there's not much, doctors can do except, yeah, once a year we can give you a shot, but you can't really do it much more than that. So, was it cortisone shot or something? Yeah, there was a long time earlier this year where I was just getting back spasms where it was like radiating back and forth almost just below my shoulders. I never could figure out what was causing that. And I just kept taking some Tylenol and just being careful. And it finally went away, but it took months. So it wasn't enough to where I felt like I needed to go in and do anything. But, I'm always doing stuff around here, especially when it's time to split wood and everything. I got to do about another cord and a half, but I've been out there coating the driveway. I finally finished. I'm probably 90% done with the driveway. There's a couple areas that need another coat, and then there's areas like underneath the trailer and the boat that I got to pull both of those out and coat. But otherwise, man, I forget how many gallons. It was probably close to 50 gallons of, I'm sorry, 50 containers. They're like 4.75 gallons. So I've got 5 left that, for coating those other areas. But I'm almost out of time because the temperature's dropping now and leaves are falling, and it's a pain in the butt to try to coat with that stuff going on. So I get my exercise differently than most people when you're hauling. I mean, those are 50-pound containers of, it's basically like a really thick paint with sand in it and everything that you put on the driveway. But I like the lemon in the water. It actually makes it taste way better too. And I get these big old containers. They're like this big of concentrated lemon juice, and I just take, it's almost like a capful for something like this, and it just really helps the taste. And the concentrated lemon juice lasts a long time. I got to get another container because that one's almost out. But I really like it. I've been taking some B complex too because I get this afternoon crash thing that's horrible sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's from real lemons, but I mean, we used to buy lemons and cut them up and put them in stuff, but I was like, the concentrated lemon juice is just more efficient. You don't have to mess with the real lemons. I do have apple cider vinegar, and I was intending to start trying to use that too. So maybe I'll take a cap full of that and a cap full of lemon and see what that tastes like. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy, but I think the for 511, I'm probably supposed to be down in 180. So I'd still have a long ways to go. Yeah, I'm not a big fan for like sweet flavors and stuff. In fact, I'll give you an example. I love celery. In fact, I eat the leaves and everything on the celery. I love the really bitter stuff. So the lemon is super great. I don't know if you would say uh, concentrate isn't real juice. It probably has rinds and everything else in there squeezed, but that's got flavor of lemon as well. So I wouldn't say it's not real juice. I'll look at the label and see what it says. Probably depends which brand you get and everything. Tastes like lemon to me. You got to be careful how much you use because it does make it very acidic. So, what do you think? What are we doing? Whew, getting hot. I should have turned the fan on. Slab coat's warm. It's funny. I was sitting here doing some work on the computer, and then all of a sudden I started getting really cold. But I had some rabbit in the oven, and I used a funny thing. I kind of sprinkled the rabbit with butt rub. I had cut up rabbit, and I sprinkled every piece with butt rub. I said, I'm going to try this time. And you just bake it in the oven covered with a tin foil. So it was 2 whole rabbits, and I baked it at 350 for an hour. I took it out and I ate a couple pieces, and then I'm sitting here now because I've got some of the fat from the meat and everything. I didn't even eat any vegetables or anything, but just fat from the meat. It stokes the coals for your body. I learned that from the Alaska shows. That's why they have a lot of salmon and stuff that they catch, and then they freeze it for or preserve it. They'll put it in mason jars and stuff, and it's just because it helps regulate your body much better. Most people don't understand that. I don't know how vegetarians can stay warm when, they don't have the oils and everything that you need from the meats. So, anyways, I only had like a couple legs, and it warmed me right up. Tell you, sometimes I eat too much steak and you get the meat sweats. You ever had that? Holy crap, that's bad. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, I'll go eat hamburgers a couple times for lunch, and then I've got, steak at home, and next I've overdosed on steak, and then you get screwed up in the middle of the night. You wake up soaking wet from sweating. It's a strange thing that happens. It hadn't happened a long time because I'm really careful not to eat too much. Well, we're about 40 minutes and things seem like they're slowing down. So maybe I think I'll shut it down. Anything else? Any last minute things that people want to talk about? I guess not. Well, let's just shut her down then. So I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.